Hello and welcome back to the final day of Dirgemas. What? The holiday that you totally made up for yourself to talk about a game that you like and only you like and nobody else that's watched any of these videos has liked is coming to an end? Yeah, I know, it sucks that Dirgemas is over, but gotta move on. And what better way to move on than thinking about the future, scary though it is. So earlier this year, Square Enix renewed its copyright on Dirge of Cerberus, which is, nothing new. But then they altered the image for the copyright slightly, and I cannot find it to this day, but you're just gonna have to take my word on it. It's not different, but it's more detailed, like they darkened some lines, they put it up in a higher res. What does that mean for us? Are we getting that remake that I've wanted since I was 17? Possibly. Hey guys, editing me just popping in to say that while I was looking for a viable source for that trademark thing, I ran across this Reddit article that was basically talking about how it got released and announced and whatnot. And I found this post from 8 months ago by a user named Tentapus, who seems to think that it's much more than a trademark renewal, since they actually are expanding the mark to apply to more things, including anything from downloadable software to amusement parks. So it seems like this might be more likely than we think, that there's actually a bigger thing. So just go through the video with the understanding that I actually accidentally talked about something more meaningful than I meant. Cassandra truth. Okay, back to the actual video. Thanks, guys. When thinking about a remake, we have to ask ourselves, what can we fix? What can we do different? Now, I would take a warts and all remake is the problem. I just put up the graphics and I'm satisfied. That's fine for me. But I know that there are a lot of people who have other concerns. So I went to the Square Enix shitposting group and the Final Fantasy shitposting group on Facebook, and I asked around, and a lot of people were helpful and a lot of people were not so helpful. But ultimately, I found a lot of suggestions for what a remake could bring to the table to, make things better. One of the best ones that I found was having the option to save Lucrezia, which I, as a lifetime Lucrezia stan, would have loved. As much as she frustrates me as a person, I don't think that she deserved anything that she got in terms of Hojo's stupid bullshit. And I kind of made my stance on Hojo implied in my last Dirgemas, which was let's just smack the shit out of Hojo for 5 minutes, which was very gratifying. And I think that, I could have done worse, and maybe I'll do worse next year. We'll just make it an annual tradition to beat the shit out of Hojo. But not only would saving Lucrezia be, really good for Vincent from a narrative standpoint, in that he can just kind of be like, I've saved you, you're done, we're done, goodbye. But it also kind of lets her figure out what she's gonna do, which could open up some storyline. And incidentally, why does Vincent get a redemption arc and not my sweet girl Lucrezia, who did virtually nothing wrong except for have a Sephiroth? That doesn't feel right. I don't like that. Give Lucrezia redemption arc 2021. Another change, this time more on the gameplay side, is that big-ass reticle. It's huge, green, semi-transparent, and very annoying, and I would like it gone, please. It's distracting. It's not really helpful in terms of aiming, and I don't want it here anymore. Please get rid of that. If we get a remake, can we please downplay the WRO? I don't care about Reeve's scout troop. I love Reeve personally. I don't care about his friends. The biggest offender for WRO-related bullshit is absolutely the train graveyard, since that's the one location that was revisited in 7 with a lot of detail. It could have been a fun little romp for nostalgia's sake, and instead they kept interrupting it to tell us about the lives of characters that I was getting killed anyway because I'm just kind of a shitty player. But I didn't care about these people. I don't care that they grew up around here. Please downplay them if you ever make a remake. I don't care about them. Gameplay-wise, more materia and weapons, please. We only get 3 materia and no real way to increase the levels or make them more cool. You get add-ons to your gun to increase the level of your materia, but I never really noticed any appreciable difference, and I didn't really, rely on materia that much unless the game was making me like the fight with Arch Azul. A higher variety of materia and a better leveling system for it would actually make it worthwhile and kind of a better fighting style. Like, maybe even have it be something that, fits in better with the shooting gameplay, where, you can infuse your bullets properly, or, infuse them with properties. Give me a healing gun for, a challenge run, see how many times I can heal Vice up before he smacks me. And speaking of Vice, let's reincorporate the play online stuff. We don't know going in who these handsome fuckers are or why they matter. Why would you give us some people who are simultaneously so cool, but that we know nothing about, and then you kind of expect us to sympathize with them, but you don't really let us? That's weird, and I don't like it, and put the play online material back in there so that we can see them. By giving us the cut content, you're deepening your villains, and you're making us sympathize with them, and you're ultimately making a stronger story. The last constructive gripe that I'm going to bring up is the experience versus money quandary, and this is something that a lot of people are kind of pissed off about. When you're finishing up a stage in Dirge of Cerberus, you have the option to either take the experience points for what they are, or you get to see how much gil you would get if you convert your experience points into gil. That can be really helpful in a skill run, like if you want to be level 1, 1v1 Vice, look at me, I'm so good at video games. But it's not really helpful for someone who's just trying to play the game. And it's actually very unhelpful if you're trying to, say, upgrade all of your guns, or upgrade them in a meaningful way, or get the Ultima weapon, which you can only do if you upgrade one gun to an absurdly powerful degree, and you only really get it for 2 fights at best. It's not a good system, and I think that a lot of people had a lot of trouble working with that system. So do I ultimately think that we're going to get a remake? Maybe. Them changing their logo doesn't seem like an accident. Maybe they're just doing it so that they can advertise better. Maybe we'll get a weird bundle pack where we get Crisis Core, Dirge of Cerberus, and maybe even Before Crisis, which would be really cool. Since, to my understanding, the only way to kind of access it is through translated playthroughs, which are very helpful. I'm not trying to shit on people who do those. But it would be really nice if we could actually just have the whole thing. Or, ideally, the thing that I would want is to just incorporate everything back into the remake's canon. That would be really good. I would love that, actually. And we're kind of getting that. There was one mention during the whole hype train up to the remake. All I wanted for Dirgemas was a reference to Dirge of Cerberus in the remake, and we kind of got one in the sense that the Ultimania mentions Deep Ground exactly once. Merry Dirgemas, you get a scrap! But I think that the remake would flesh out Vincent when we see him in the remake. I think that reincorporating material from Dirge of Cerberus into the remake would be helpful. Whether or not we get Gacked back, I don't care. I want my murderers home. So, what I'm saying is, Merry Dirgemas to all, and to all a good night. R.I.P. Hyperfixation, who got blasted into the sun when she saw that Baldur's Gate 3 had a handsome vampire in it. And thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for letting me indulge in a little bit of this extremely self-indulgent conceit. I will be back to posting my usual content, God knows what that is anymore, once Halloween is over. I know that I have a Sims video lined up for you, I have an indie review lined up for you, but let me know if there's anything you want to see on top of that, and be sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video if you haven't already. I will see you in the next one. Merry Dirgemas, take care, bye-bye.